Welcome to the, I guess this is the first video that I'm doing in this format. Each drawing that I do, I'll be posting like this. It'll be an edit with a voiceover. And then I'll have the full version time-lapsed with some background music, as well as the full version in real time with no music or sound. I haven't been able to get a good sound solution for recording the audio of just me drawing, like the pen or pencil on the paper kind of thing. I tend to probably breathe heavily through my mouth. I also have a nose that whistles a little bit, so it could be a little difficult without hearing that annoying stuff or clearing my throat or background noise, because I'm not necessarily doing this in absolute silence, depending on when I can actually do it, but regardless. The idea being that if you like these shorter videos, it's still 15 minutes, I should say these voice-overed? Whatever. If you prefer this type of video, then these will be the ones for you, obviously. That's how that works. Or if you prefer to not hear me yammer on about whatever, then go watch the time-lapse video. It is only going to be from one camera though, just because it's quicker to edit that way. Same with the real time. There's no cutting in between. Real time of this one was about an hour or so. So it's easier for me to cut whole chunks out and just bring it down to a more digestible runtime to do a voiceover to. Because as it is, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about for 15 minutes, let alone an hour, so. I did also experiment with trying to record my voice while drawing, because there are some YouTube channels that I enjoy watching, such as Drawing with Waffles, where it's very clear that Rin is talking while she's drawing, and I just can't do that. Like if I'm with a friend drawing and we're talking, I'll tend to stop drawing to talk or say my point or whatever, and then go back to drawing. I can sing while drawing if I'm listening to music, but yeah, nobody wants to hear that. So this is what we get. I should probably talk about this drawing, even though there was no setup, no real idea. That's why I was drawing in pencil so slow at the start, because I wasn't even sure what I was drawing. So it was just coming up with a basic shape and then seeing where that led me. So it led me to this lobster monster, which originally had 6 eyes, and then I decided it needed a more like Mr. Krabs look to him. So I did those long, sleek, weird looking eyeballs. So after that was sketched out, now I'm inking, and I'm using a Tombow brush pen. This is the hard nib. I don't like the soft nib that much. I tried using it during Inktober, and I wound up using the soft nib more as like a fill-in pen, whereas I really like the feel of this plastic nylon head. I'm looking at my bald head. The tip, the plastic nylon tip on these brush pens is really nice. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really enjoy them. I recently picked up some gray tone markers by Tombow, which I started using a little bit. I do like those. The nib is definitely not the same as this hard nylon one. It's softer, more like the other brush pen, so it's a little getting used to, but I'm sure I'll get there. But I like it. So Tombow all the way, I guess. I've used other brands too, like, of course, Copic. But, God, they're just so expensive. Like, I see these people drawing and they have like every single color, and my first thought is like, that's like $4,000 in markers. And I can't imagine you're using every single color. Like, there's got to be markers that dry out before you can use them. Unless you're making it a point to use colors. So, like, that's my struggle. Like, oh, you could just buy a smaller pack, but I'm not even sure what colors I would like or want to use. Like, I like the idea of using more muted, like pastel-y colors that aren't so dark or saturated. So that way you can build up the tones or do like a base tone with gray and then color on top of it or something. But I like to use like a mixed media anyway. So like you'll see with this drawing that I do a marker base and then I come in with colored pencils on top of that. So yeah, it's just not, I mean, maybe eventually you can get into it, but it just seems like such a crazy overhead to me. I can't imagine. And they don't seem to last very long either, so it's not like you're paying whatever the hell it is, $400 or $500 for a 72 marker set and going like, oh yeah, I'm good for a while. It's like, well, you get a color in there that you like and you're going to be buying it quite frequently. I know they have refills and stuff like that, but I can't even imagine how much that ink costs. I feel like I'm complaining about Copic. I'm not. I mean, it is a great marker. It's just very, very expensive. So anyway, cheaper alternatives like this. Now I guess I've been doing it for a while. I haven't even been looking at the video to do voiceover. So this pen that I'm using now is just a Sharpie. And grab one over here. Yeah, it's just the Sharpie S Gel pen. It's a 0.5. So when I did Inktober last year, I wound up using the Tombow pens for doing most of my line work. And then all of my shading, I wanted something that was close to a dip pen, like a crow quill nib. So I wound up finding this gel pen. So it has that scratchiness to it, because it is like a ballpoint, but the way it writes is very dip pen-like. I mean, you can't do thicks and thins, but that's why I wanted it. I wanted a consistent line weight to do these little tick mark shading thing that I do. So yeah, it was a good find. I am not opposed to using office supply stuff for art, because it is cheap, it is readily available. I feel like I'll probably wind up mentioning this quite a few times in my videos, but I feel like there is a certain amount of anxiety that comes along with artwork, in the sense that when you're buying expensive art materials, your feelings, your thought process about it is then like, oh, I have to make something really good with this expensive stuff that I just bought. So, you know, you buy a really nice sketchbook, and then you have the fear of messing up because it's in a sketchbook. It's not like it's a piece of paper you can just throw away. And then the same thing goes with the art materials themselves. So, you know, oh, I have this crazy expensive Copic markers. I shouldn't waste them on doodles or whatever. I'm actually using Ohuhu markers here, which I found out about from different YouTube artists. Again, like drawing with waffles as an alternative, and they're nice enough. I mean, I haven't been using them a lot, but same thing. They're not super, super cheap. So I ordered what I thought was a pastel-y pack. And they're not as light as I thought they'd be. So, you know, I'll just have to keep experimenting with them or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not opposed to using office supplies. I mostly draw on copy paper, Post-it notes, index cards, and I feel like it helps me get over that subconscious anxiety or fear of like, oh, I'm gonna mess up. So if I'm drawing on shitty stuff with shitty stuff, then it doesn't matter. Which, you know, it's kind of funny, but I guess you do what you gotta do. There is a artist on Instagram that I started following recently. He goes by Gabo. His handle is Galvasaur. But anyway, he does these daily drawings in a monthly planner. So it's like a graph paper. It has the day of the month and whatnot. So you know, they're just quick doodles on non-precious paper. And I think I'm actually going to steal this idea. So thanks, Gabo, because I like the idea that you're already starting off on something that's not, yeah, I guess precious. Which actually makes me think of back in grade school. I used to draw on loose leaf paper. And I would do fairly elaborate drawings on loose leaf paper. And my mother would hate it. Maybe not hate it, but strongly dislike it or discourage me. Like, you know, why are you drawing on lined paper with ballpoint pen? And it was just what I had available and what I was comfortable with, because a lot of my drawing happened in school because it helped me pay attention. It occupied my hands and my mind so I can listen to the teacher talk. Which I have a neat story about that with math class. I'll probably save for the last time because for the next time, because we're getting close to the end of this video. Sip of coffee. Anyway, so, oh, and then it was funny that in college, my mom, both my parents went to college, back to college, later in life. But anyway, long story short, there was an artist showing at the college my mom was going to, and we went to go look at his work, and he had a bunch that was ballpoint pen. It wasn't on loose leaf paper, but they were like giant portraits, like 3 feet by 4 or 5 feet. But yeah, it was pretty funny to see. Like, hey mom, look, ballpoint pen. I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, right, the planner. So, yeah, I think I'm going to steal this idea, so I may start posting those drawings. I might not do the long form videos like this. It might just be an Instagram thing or stories, whatever the hell that new thing is that everyone's using. So yeah, I really haven't talked about this drawing at all. So here's this lobster guy. Mixed media, pens, stuff. I used some Prismacolors. There's another expensive art material. Not crazy expensive, but you know, it gets up there with each pencil. But the set that I have is a mix between 2 sets that were given to me. One was by an animator, Dave Lubell, and the other was by my cousin, Sal, who worked, he's an architect, and he got a bunch of supplies from work and just gave them to me. So I haven't had to buy Prismacolors in like 20 years. It's been awesome. Alright, well, Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.